Hey everybody, so on this channel I like to dissect songs and try to figure out what my own interpretations of them are and do, research and analysis into what the artists intended for the tracks that they make. And for this reason I've decided to do this anyway, even though I've heard this song before. It's a really great song. I've never seen the video, so there is a music video, so I will be reacting to that. And then we're also going to do the usual looking at the lyrics and figuring out what this song's about. This is, in my opinion, an iconic song. I love this song. It's Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads. I've been learning more and more about the Talking Heads, and I'm getting more and more impressed. Some people requested that I react to a live concert thing that they did called Stop Making Sense. And I think I might do that. I think we might build up to it in the same way that I did with the Live Aid that Queen did, where we reacted to the studio versions of the tracks that they play first, and then we did the live show all in one go. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Let's check out the video and lyrics of Once in a Lifetime. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait, one last thing. Every time lately, every time I've been doing music videos, there's always multiple people in the comments saying, like, why don't you have the video on full screen? If the thing's smaller, then there's less of a chance this is going to get, blocked. So I apologize if it's difficult to see. There's a link to the original video down below in the description. All right, here we go.
You may find yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. And you may ask yourself.
Sorry to pause it. That'll be the only time I do so. But one question. Do we have any idea why he cuts off the ends of the lines? He's letting the days go by, water flowing underground. And he doesn't say ground, he just says gra. Or at least that's how I hear it. Which is interesting. Why did they do that? Also, this video is very trippy and strange. I like it. Let's continue.
And you may ask yourself, how do I work this? And you may ask yourself, where is that large automobile? And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Same as it ever was. 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 Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. You may ask yourself, what is that beautiful house? You may ask yourself, where does that highway go to? And you may ask yourself, am I right? Am I wrong? And you may
sinking into the water, or whatever that strange texture is in the background. Okay. Um, Video was actually pretty cool. His mannerisms are very interesting. Hmm. What did that gesture mean? Do we know? Was there like meaning behind that, or was that just like a, yeah? He's very like, his name's David Byrne, right? David Byrne's mannerisms are very interesting. Um, Makes me wonder something, but I'm wondering if saying that would be like a stupid thing to say. Yeah, I don't know. Does he have like some um, neurodivergence? Probably, which is actually kind of cool because he was, like a celebrity and probably brought like awareness to that type of thing when there was, I would assume, less of it. But I'm assuming, so I have no idea. Great song though, and yeah, let's see what some of the comments are under this. David, oh, is there? I think there is a Talking Heads YouTube channel because I'm pretty sure I subscribed to it. But why is so? This video, he has his own YouTube channel, and this video is on that. This song doesn't age, work of art. When the 80s come on the table, people always praise the geniuses like Bowie and Prince. David Byrne fully deserves to be on that list, 100%. But I see David Byrne and Bowie and Prince all praised, along with other people as well, yeah. I imagine this hits a lot harder when you're older and have already let the days go by and let the water hold you down. To me, these lyrics are about how we can kind of just go on autopilot and let life pass by like we're going through the motions, but maybe one day something snaps us out of that dreamlike autopilot existence, whether it's something like a loved one dying, a new romantic relationship, a health diagnosis like cancer, or something else. Just something that brings us out of the trance and reminds us how precious time is and how this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Really interesting song. Definitely. I seriously think this is the best song ever made. I remember thinking it was a goofy oldies song when I was younger, but I recently came back to it and I'm floored. This thing hits like a truck. An oldies song. Interesting. I'm trying to think if I've ever thought of a song as an oldies song. Maybe like some of the stuff we've listened to from the 40s that has like a recording quality to it that makes it sound very much like, all right, so this is from quite a while ago. Anyway, all right. Would have loved to have been on the set of this music video. Talking Heads at the Boston Orpheum. During this song, he ran multiple laps full speed around the stage, circling the performers for what seemed like forever, till he finally stopped front and center and wailed the last verse of Same As It Ever Was, echoing through the auditorium. It was stunning, if you can imagine. That's amazing. Song is so hauntingly beautiful and perfect. Hearing this playing in a supermarket was the most surreal thing I've experienced in a long time. If this played in a supermarket and everyone started dancing, that'd be freaking awesome. All right. Produced by Brian Eno. It's off the album Remain in Light, which I've heard a lot of people say is an amazing album, I believe. Yeah, all right. In this song, producer Brian Eno and Talking Heads frontman David Byrne are at the apogee of whatever it is that they do. Byrne claims he was riffing on some southern preacher. Wow. That's interesting. I've written multiple songs with this exact premise of maybe not riffing. Some of the things that I've written are like almost like a sarcastic or sardonic take on it, but still. The song is about being unafraid of the passage of time. Byrne gave his take on this song to NPR. We're largely unconscious, we operate half awake or on... Oh, okay, so whoever wrote that comment was saying exactly what he said. We operate half awake or on autopilot and end up, whatever, with a house and a family and a job and everything else. We haven't really stopped to ask ourselves, how did I get here? As mentioned before, his vocal style on the verses wasn't inspired by a singer. Much of it was taken from the style of radio evangelists, so I would improvise lines as if I was giving a sermon in that kind of meter, in that kind of hyperventilating style. That style of doing this is amazing, actually. Like, I'm also inspired by that form of delivery. I think Nick Cave does it sometimes, too. It's cool. It's definitely different. Anyway, I would improvise lines as if I was giving a sermon and go back and distill that. Byrne remembers Eno's initial feelings on the song. It wasn't one of Eno's favorite tracks that we were working on, and there was a motion to just abandon this one. But I thought there's something about this. I'm sure I can write words to it that's going to make this work and pull it together. He reflected on the song's lyrics in an interview with Time Out. Maybe I'm fascinated with the middle class because it seems so different from my life, so distant from what I do. I can't imagine living like that. Yeah. Yeah. It's always been interesting thinking about this because it's like in America, a lot of times it feels like that's supposed to be the dream, is to make it to being in the middle class or whatever, and be, well off enough that you don't have to worry too much. And my family has never been anywhere near that level. But at the same time, the idea of a middle class life, just like what he's expressing right now, is so yeah, I can't imagine living like that. What was the other song that made me think like that? I think Pleasant Valley Sunday, where it was almost like it's just strange to think about. All right, let's continue. Talking Heads broke up in 1991, but drummer Chris France remembers rocking this song in concerts. He said the liner notes for Best Of, "We used to have so much fun playing this song live. It was a soaring feeling and the audience was right there with us." It's like an uncanny valley feeling, what I was trying to say a minute ago. Anyway, the video for the song aired on MTV the day the channel started. Oh, that's amazing. August 1st, 1981. Song rose to number 91. Remain in Light fared far better, going to number 19. All right. So, you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack. You may find yourself in another part of the world. You may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? He structures the song as fragments of a Pentecostal sermon. It resonated with early 80s yuppies who had recently given up their years of soul-searching to withdraw into a more stable and perhaps fuller adult existence at home. It's a more gnomic spin on Candide's conclusion: we must cultivate our own garden. This must be the place. Naive Melody seems to also be about the same idea. He equates the ecstasy of a fundamentalist revival with more banal pleasure of settling down. In the choreography, he seems to be alluding to temporal lobe seizures, which are known to induce religious visions. Okay, so the choreography was arranged then. Cool. Interesting. The song is primarily addressed as a warning to everyone going through their early adulthood, meant to brace them for the inevitable midlife crisis, but also to everyone who is the right age to be having a midlife crisis, and it addresses the frequent perversion of the American dream. Even though you worked hard to get your ideal 2-story house with a lawn and a driveway, you find yourself in a shotgun shack, or maybe you do find yourself in a beautiful house with your beautiful wife, but you didn't work hard to get it at all, and you may ask yourself, how the hell did I get here? And do I deserve it? Is this the best I could do? And the premise of this section is that the speaker suffers from imposter syndrome, which is almost why he's so frantic. And every line he says is almost like questioning. You may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may ask yourself, how did I get here? It's actually scary almost. So wait, one catching the Holy Ghost can mimic someone who seems to be having a seizure? Who knew? Certainly not the way I've witnessed it before. What the hell? Christian church? Okay. Whatever. Then we've got letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground. Into the blue again after the money's gone. Once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. It's the current constantly pulling you along. It's the erosion of everything, basically. The sea of change constantly. The river of deceit, if you will. Just kidding. That doesn't really go with the song. And then the money's gone. The line, the money's gone, whenever I've heard the song in the past, I always think of it as this, like, call to action. It's like what they were saying before of this song is supposed to wake you out of the trance. After the money's gone makes me think of you're out of money. Now you just got to strike out, with nothing but the clothes on your back and see if you can survive. See where you to go out to find your fortune, if you will. Water, symbolic of life, is the legend of the American dream and David's image of America he saw living in New York City during the early 80s. The average citizen letting the days go by allows the omnipresent American dream to hold himself down, a dream that he spends forever searching for instead of living. Into the blue again after the money's gone is the dream fading away once all has been spent, both emotionally and physically. For many contemporary Americans at the time with the ongoing early 80s recession probably saw themselves as only having one chance in a lifetime to achieve the dream buried under the ground, and if they dig deep enough, maybe they'll reach the water. Dang. And you may... and right now, it seems like the world, or America, is heading into another strange... anyway, all right. And you may ask yourself, how do I work this? You may ask yourself, where is that large automobile? And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. You may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Just because you have all these nice things doesn't mean you know what to do with them. I worked hard. Where's my nice car? The image of a beautiful, powerful car is a frequent one when conjuring up images of the American dream. For example, in The Great Gatsby, one of America's greatest novels, and a story heavily involving the American dream, one of the prevailing symbols is Gatsby's car. It doesn't look it today, but in the 20s, that would have been an extravagantly fancy car. It's a Rolls Royce. A Rolls Royce of the same relative caliber today would probably cost $250,000. What is more American than working hard enough to earn enough money that you can buy a car, a device purely meant for convenience, for $250,000? The true extravagance. My God. Repeat of the chorus. Then this is my favorite part of the song. Whenever I've heard it, when he says it at the end and he's saying it like same as it ever was, then it's less impactful to me. But in this refrain, I've often felt like my own life has a weird monotony to it, and a lot of the things that I try to do is an attempt to, like, I don't know, make things seem more interesting. That's why I love creative expression and art and all the weird stuff, I guess. So even as like a much younger like kid, this part right here where he's like, same as it ever was, same as it ever was, same as it ever was, in this, like, in the way that he says it is terrifying and makes you want to hyperventilate. It's like, holy cow, I'm on a wheel. This line is lamenting the stagnation, that's the word that I look for, and the failure of the American dream. When you get down to it, this is a midlife crisis song. Went through school, went to college, married a beautiful wife, had 2.5 kids and a dog, bought a house with a lawn and a white picket fence, and every day I do the same thing, driving to a 9-to-5 job that I hate to pay my mortgage and taxes and food and home repairs and debt I still have from school that I only went to so I could get a job, so I could pay off the debt I was destined to get from school. Oh, they used a picture from where's my stapler? And where has all this hard work taken me? What have I accomplished? And when will the American dream happen and lift me off my feet to success and fame and fortune? Same as it ever was. And then the comment directly beneath it says, at the end you ask, when will the American dream happen? While finding yourself in a shotgun shack is one possible outcome, the lyrics also indicate that even if you have achieved this dream, it's revealed to be a fraud. You may find yourself with a beautiful house and a beautiful wife, but spiritually bankrupt. And for people who watch this that are not religious, spiritually, I mean, we don't need to take that as spiritually. We can just say, we've become bankrupt in the things that matter. Starved for true connection with the world around you, not really finding like true meaning in anything that you're doing, wondering what the point, and whether it would have been better to have not have existed in the first place, and whether your existence has done anything, sinking back into the blue again, same as it ever was. And you may ask yourself, is that where we were? Or were we past this? We were past this. I'm an idiot. Wait. No, we were not past it. All right. Then Water dissolving, water removing. There's water at the bottom of the ocean. Under the water, carry the water. Remove the water at the bottom of the ocean. Was this in what we just listened to? Or did they, like, cut it out? This analysis is getting long, so let's hurry this up. As well as a metaphor for the inevitable and unstoppable passage of time, the flow of water also erodes. Oh, that's what I said earlier. Water reaches everywhere it can, removes everything that's not tightly connected to the bottom of the ocean, and even that will erode away with the passing of time. As with rocks and stones, the passage of time does the same to your dreams and ultimately your life. If you remove the water at the bottom of the ocean, more water just comes in to replace it. You can't escape the passing of time. It's an element of change. It can dissolve even the hardest stones and carry their fragments away. The pressure at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is roughly 16,000 psi, pounds per square inch. Dang. So if you can imagine a paintball the size of a large boulder being shot at your head, it's about half the pressure you'd experience at the bottom of the ocean. What I'm saying is that's a lot of pressure. Removing the pressure at the bottom of the ocean is like removing pressure from your life. It's also possible, but this is poetic, so you should strive for the impossible. Atlantis, and then they put Donovan's Atlantis, which I reacted to, and it got blocked, so it's now on Patreon. But amazing song. Then a repeat of the chorus. And then at the end, you may ask yourself, what is that beautiful house? Where does that highway go to? Am I right? Am I wrong? And you may say to yourself, my God, what have I done? Where earlier we were merely being asked, where is my beautiful house? Now this is being asked, what is the beautiful house? Furthermore, what does it mean? Have I earned it? Was it merely thrust into my hands by luck and circumstance? And even if I did earn it, why did it matter? Why did I care so much about what other people thought of my own position? Why was this necessary? Why was any of it necessary? The highway mentioned here could be seen as the high road or the high life. Highways can cost millions of tax dollars to make, and in every city there are people who ride on top of highways and people who live under highways. Had the money used to make the highway been put into helping the poor and the hungry, they wouldn't need the highway to live under. And furthermore, the highway is not a necessity, it's a convenience. A massive multi-million-dollar construct has been erected at the expense of those in need for your convenience. But of course, that's just the literal highway. You, with your beautiful house and wife, are figuratively above many people on this fast, straight path. But is the path really straightforward and easy? Where is this road taking you? And finally, is this all right? How can you justify your actions in this case? And oh God, what have you done? One of the greatest paintings of all time behind that. Yeah. To the crew of the Enola Gay, Hiroshima had disappeared under a thick churning foam of flames and smoke, and the co-pilot, Captain Robert Lewis, commented, my God, what have we done? I already saw that. All right. Yeah. Then at the end, we have a repeat of the chorus. Under the rocks and stones, there is water. Let the water hold me down into the blue again after the money's gone. Same as it ever was. And look where my hand was. Time isn't holding up. Time isn't after us. Here a twister comes. Here a twister comes. Letting the days go by. David Byrne states this in order to remind the audience and perhaps himself as a singer that time is a constant. There is no changing or controlling it. His dance in the music video while these lyrics are sung. Yeah, again, what does this mean? He did it multiple times in the video. Here a twister comes. The twister can signify retirement or the end of his life and him anticipating it. Describing it as a twister shows how it would be a disaster and him not being ready for such events. It's a twister. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. That's once in a lifetime. Very glad I decided to make this video despite having heard the song before. Powerful, powerful song. I hope you're having a great week. Stay tuned for more videos. See you soon. Bye.